Next on the Catholic talk show radio thing, we're going to be talking about if you only have $1 to give, well, that's fine. Bless your heart, child. Bless your heart. If you give $1, give $1. 50 cents, 50 cents. It's fine. Just give, but only as much as you can. That's all I got.
That's awesome.
Don't say that's all I got.
That's more than you needed.
That's like the guy who hit a walk-off grand slam and says,
That's all I got.
I tried to get 5 runs in, but it was only a grand slam. I'm sorry.
Howdy, Beatitude Nation. This is Paul Kolker coming in here with Jeff Scheffelbein.
Howdy, Paul.
And Nick Besner.
Howdy.
And this is a podcast for Christian men seeking to grow in holiness and humor as we seek to serve God in all things. And we are back for a bonus episode this Friday with Alex Trevino. We had a fantastic time with him on the last episode. Probably getting a little too goofy at times, but we figured out that really is Alex's fault. And
It's okay. It's my fault.
yeah, he was ready with it.
It's okay.
He was ready with it. I love it. Yes. Yeah, so we're back getting to talk with him, and we're going to go a little deeper today. We're going to dive into finding out a little more about his personal life. We found out about career and stuff last time, so we're going to have some fun with that. But first, we're going to dive in with our game.
Blessed are the joke makers.
Yes, and Alex is going to join us in this game this time, so he's going to play along with us.
What's the point total?
Oh, yeah, what are the points?
36 points.
Nice.
Nice.
Project 36.
Nice.
That's
Yeah.
He was
Alex's
listening.
creative company. Project36. That's what I
Com.
thought the website was.
.net.
All spelled out, by the way.
Project 36.
Project 36, all spelled out.
Oh, that's good to know.
Not
That's
the
hard
numbers.
for the
You know why though? Because
millennials.
36 is already taken by this company in Chicago, and I could not find them to figure out how to buy it from them.
Oh,
So it's taken.
Weedwaters.
Yeah,
So they're just
So
sitting on it.
definitely not project36.com.
that is correct.
Don't go there.
Don't go there.
Yeah.
You'll end up with those.
That would be your fault.
You'll end up with those gangsters.
we'll put it
Not
in the
be
show
my
notes.
fault.
All right.
All right. So for these 36 points that we're going to earn, we got to play a character based off this character card and answer as that character the Catholic card game card prompt, which could be a fill in the blank, a question, something. So our character card is a penny pinching cheapskate. Answer next on Catholic Radio. We will be talking about blank.
And next on Catholic Radio, we will be talking about tithing as much as possible. Of course, we want to tithe up to the 10%, but how can we maybe figure out exactly what that 10% is of? Is that after taxes? Because I mean that's just, you got to be reasonable with your finances.
Next on Catholic Radio, we're going to be talking about ways that you can donate to the radio station. And they say stuff like, we'll take your vehicle. We'll take any car, running or not. We'll take it. We'll get it all juiced up for you. We'll get some money for it. But I went ahead and I sold him my kid's tricycle because I'm not getting rid of that car.
Next on the Catholic talk show radio thing, we're going to be talking about if you only have $1 to give, well, that's fine. Bless your heart, child. Bless your heart. If you give $1, give $1. 50 cents, 50 cents. It's fine. Just give, but only as much as you can. That's all I got.
That's awesome.
Don't say that's all I got.
That's more than you needed.
That's like the guy who hit a walk-off grand slam and says,
That's all I got.
I tried
I
to
don't know.
get 5 runs in, but it was only a grand slam. I'm sorry. It's all I got tonight.
Next on Penny Pinching Radio, we'll be telling you how to squeeze the budget even further for your vacation Bible schools and other programs.
Just ratchet them down.
I love.
VBS.
Quick side note: I would love a good 401k plan called Penny Pension.
Penny pension.
Penny Pension.
Yeah.
Nice.
There's something there.
The penny slots pathway to
Heaven. Yeah. Guess.
Alex, I don't think anybody has to
777.
question this. When you hit that walk-off grand slam,
Yeah.
it was really funny because you didn't even look at where the ball went. You just started looking at the dugout and you go, it was
That's all
my
I got.
fault. It was my fault. It's my fault. We just won. So 36 points. You also
Yeah.
get the special drum beats of Beatitude Love.
And Christopher, if you're keeping track out there in YouTube land, would you go ahead and spell out his point total? Just make sure that's 36.
36 spelled out. Yeah, not the numbers.
Great point.
Thank you. Just trying to be consistent.
Yeah, and actually go ahead and give him 0.5 because I want to see that all spelled out.
Nice.
No.
Or just tack
No.
0.5 onto the spelled out 36.
All out of that.
That's awesome. Well, good. Well, listen, one of the things, first of all, I want to say this. You remember the first time you met your wife.
Yep.
I want to put myself on the same playing field for a second.
Of course you do.
Yeah, of course.
No, this
Yeah,
is
yeah.
so funny. I heard him on a podcast with our very first guest was Kevin Fitzpatrick, and you were on his podcast.
Yep.
And I'm sitting there listening to you guys, and you start talking about giftology, and he does too, like the whole John Rulin thing. And I have this like cold sweat flash of like a memory that you and I met with John Rulin.
Yeah, that was the first time I met you.
But
It was right down the street.
I
Yeah.
didn't know it was you because there was a camera in front of your
Yeah.
face. I'm sitting there having a beer with this man, and there's just I don't know, you're in college or what?
No, that was 6 years ago.
Well, you looked
Yeah.
like you were about 17.
Oh, thanks.
Hat
Great.
backwards, camera in your face.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm like, John, this guy in the booth that has a camera, and he's like, yeah, just act natural. And I was like, what's your name, bro? And you're like, don't worry about it.
I guess. I don't know.
No,
I
don't
was
know.
just like intimidated by everybody back then. Just, I'm starting my thing, not really,
But it's funny because you ended up using some of what giftology practices, like the art of gifting strategically in a way that's meaningful. It's not about the dollar amount. It's about the thought and the real impact behind the gift itself and who the vendor is. Anyway, I just love that was like, I'm never going to see this guy again is my like brain at that moment to Alex, please come on the show. Will you please come be a Beatitude?
Yeah, yeah. And you paid me a lot of money, and you're
What?
Why the tables have?
I actually hired him for project work. I did not pay him to be on the
That's
show.
what I meant. Yeah, for Project 36, all
okay.
spelled out.
Hey,
That's what that.
Paul
that's,
and Nick, there's nothing in the bank account.
actually,
I knew it.
yeah. Sorry, guys. It's actually.
I thought there was an interesting charge.
Well, the other thing is Alex isn't acting when he's being a penny pincher. He goes, "Oh, you want me to be on the Beatitudes? Well, here's my minute by minute rate." So
My fee.
to the
Actually,
penny.
you have to talk to my assistant to book it.
to book all, yeah, no.
Yeah.
Speaking of assistants, I see you. We share an office building with you, so I do
Yeah.
see your lovely wife Amanda from time to time. Tell us the rundown of what you got going on in this beautiful family of yours.
Yeah, and in this family, it's awesome. We got 4 kids. They're incredible. 7, 5, 3, and 1. We actually have 5. One's in heaven.
Okay.
And that happened to us in December of 2022. So about 6-7 months
6 months
ago
ago.
from
Yep.
when we're recording this. Yeah. And, it's funny because Amanda very recently opened up about that to somebody very unexpectedly. And so, I don't know, just right now I'm feeling like it's the right time for me to open up about this for the first time. It's been very difficult.
Yeah.
It's been very, very hard. It's tested my faith a ton. It's still, you talked about one of the questions you asked was how you're doing in your faith journey. And, for me, to be quite honest, it's very rocky.
Yeah.
It has been.
Yeah.
Because you just get asked all the time from people that, you don't really know or people that know you very well. Oh, well, when's the next one coming? When's the next one you're going to try for the next one? Or, do you know what you're going to, I have no idea what I'm going to do. I barely know what I'm going to eat for, breakfast tomorrow, much less, when baby number 5 is going to come. And at the same time, it's like riding, on the fence line and seeing both sides because there's so many people that we know that either are expecting or about to have a kid right around the time that we were.
Sure.
So we're super happy for them.
Yeah.
And we really want to be there for them, and it's really exciting. But at the same time, we should be having a baby right now too.
Can you speak to that for a second? I remember talking with you and your wife. We were actually talking about this show and kind of gaining permission as a family to be able to go into this because this is not an easy conversation, and the wound will likely always be present, but right now I would call it very fresh. Amanda reflected and you kind of jumped in on what it's like to be around people who are either pregnant or just had a baby, and maybe even speaking to like helping those people to not feel awkward that they somehow are avoidant or apologetic that they're bringing life into this world,
Yeah, and they shouldn't be at all. And I think the thing too with this whole the miscarriage thing with us, it the baby was pretty far along, I think 17 weeks, 18 weeks. I mean, I got to hold him in my hand. I'm very something that you say. I'm very grateful that I got to hold him in my hand.
Yeah.
You know, so many people don't get that opportunity when this happens to them. And you know, it's something that that should be talked about, that we shouldn't try to hide that this happened. And, you know, I mean, one aspect of it that, you know, that I do want to share is I never put it in my head that visiting a gravesite once a week was going to be part of my routine for the rest of my life now. We go visit him almost every Sunday. And that's just part of the routine now. We go to mass, we go to lunch, and then we go.
What's
see
his name?
Gabriel. Yeah.
Gabriel.
So we get to see him every Sunday. And, you know, I never would have pictured that going to see one of my kids like that every Sunday was going to be part of that routine. And, you know, it definitely feels a lot better talking about it and not hiding that it happened, you know, being grateful that we went through something like that and got all these amazing things that happened afterwards. We got to baptize him. We got to bury him. We got to visit him. You know, for a lot of people that go through this, you know, in the cultural and life issues, I mean, there's so many families and women and dads, and, you know, I feel terribly for them that, you know, discard that baby and put that wound away for years and years and years and never deal with it.
Yep.
And then it hits them hard at some point, whether that's a year, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years on their deathbed, it's going to hit them at some point. And so that's something that Amanda and I are very grateful for, is that we get to deal with it pretty quickly. And at least it's always going to hurt, but at least we can, you know, deal with it.
Got 4 older kids.
Yeah.
Some of them are of an age of being able to kind of reason through and understand some stuff. What has the journey been like for those kids with the loss of a sibling?
It's been awesome, actually.
Okay.
It's been really great for
Gosh,
2
that
reasons.
makes me
One,
smile.
Yeah.
To hear,
Yeah.
like, what a cool moment to see your joy come out.
Because I get reminded of it every day, you know, and in 2 very distinct ways. Number one, he gets talked about almost every day in our house, you know, like he's there.
Yeah.
The second thing is, before we bless any meal now, well, after we bless every meal, we've added the May the Souls of the Faithful Departed specifically for Gabriel. And it's gotten so ingrained in our prayers 3 times a day as a family for mealtime that if we skip it, like, our kids get mad for skipping it. Even like our 3-year-old girl, who, you know, she's starting to have conversations. It's like, we didn't say the prayer.
That's awesome.
Yeah, like runs around the house like a psycho because we forgot the prayer. So we never forget about him. And it's seeing that every day, like I said, and like I showed, it brings a smile to our face for sure.
What about resources available to a couple in your situation? What have you uncovered or thought about going into or taken advantage of so far in a situation like this?
Here's something that was pretty crazy and pretty wild was, you know, when we went through this experience, there were a lot of people that I wasn't expecting that reached out to us and said, hey, we went through this too. There were a lot. Like, I could probably count like a dozen or 2 of people who reached out and said, I'm going to send you a book. I'm going to send you this. I'm going to send you a this. You know, someone sent us a Christmas ornament because it was right around Christmas time when it all happened. And, you know, so that Christmas ornament is, you know, his name on it and everything. So there were a lot of different people that reached out that we didn't know had ever experienced anything like that. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, it was incredible just getting all the different sorts of things. There's a nonprofit that we reached out to as well. And they send you they have connections with burial sites and graveyards all around the country. And they help sort of facilitate it and things like that. And they also, you know, for anybody who, you know, can't afford like a full burial, they cover the costs for that. So it's pretty incredible. Just, reaching out or getting reached out and reaching out to a lot of different of these organizations and individuals as well. Like I said, that there were plenty of people that I'd never heard about them dealing with anything like that, and they had. And
then you guys went on a retreat too, you and your wife? Is there?
We haven't.
Oh, I thought you were talking about. Oh, you know what's funny? Our guest before you went on a Redbirds ministry retreat.
Oh,
do you know this group?
No.
Okay, sorry. I've been with so many people today. Scott lost a child a few hours after he was born, very tragically, about maybe a month after y'all went through your thing. So it's wild to do recordings on the same night.
Yeah.
He spoke about how him and his wife are finally capable of sharing and opening up. We didn't talk about it on the show, but I'm just sharing with you this. If you want to, just to share another resource for anybody going through this, Redbird Ministries, he said was a game changer for him and his wife as they were going through and are continuing to go through grief and loss. So, wow, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to like throw out the resource.
Awesome.
No, this
awesome.
is,
yeah.
Well, it's just another resource too. I guess there are plenty of men, as you already know, and women listening to the show that have experienced something similar. None of us are called to like tell people how to live or how to think. But what advice would you have for somebody that's either in the throes of this or years past? Like what is your in the now encouragement or wisdom?
The biggest thing for me was to be okay with asking for help from people.
Mm-hmm.
It takes a lot of humility, you know, and that's always been a struggle for me. And this time around, it seemed like it was a no-brainer to ask family and friends and even business, you know, connections for help and for, you know, favors and for understanding, things like that.
Yeah.
And you know, like every client that I was working with, Satori included, they let me like not talk to them for a month and a half. We were in the middle of, you know, I was in the middle of a lot of different projects, and I didn't touch them. I didn't have to touch them for like 4 to 6 weeks, and it was awesome.
Yeah, being honest and vulnerable allows other people to support you, even if supporting you just means take the pressure off. Like,
Yep.
We're okay.
Wow. Yeah, that's powerful.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
Well, listen, thanks for sharing. I know there's people out here, and this is like the prayer we do before we go on air, that's what they needed to hear tonight. They needed to hear that they're not alone, that asking for help, even in the humility and humbleness of that, is critical. And there's a lot of resources, but just be open to it. I want to go back real quick because we're kind of getting to the end of this bonus episode. When people are thinking about doing kind of a full brand overhaul, getting themselves plugged in the digital world, perhaps there's somebody who is a digital novice, or they just want to have a strategy that they can roll out over many months so that they can have that marked increase in eyeballs on their brand and in throughput in their sales. I want to mention Project 36 and Alex Trevino, who you are very great at what you do. You're getting to connect with a lot of great clients. How do people find you in your personal Instagram and then the website? And we'll take it home.
Yeah. Project36.com, all spelled out nice and long. Project36, not 36.com. On Instagram, I'm at Alex Trevino 1989. That's where you find me. Something I will say about, you know, personal brand, digital marketing, all that stuff. It takes time. It takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of patience. You can't, you know, like with this show, The Beatitudes, that's something that I love so much about what y'all are doing here. You're committing to it long term. You're not just saying, oh, I'm going to throw out 2-3 episodes, see what happens, and then never again. That's what so many people do, and that's what causes so many businesses to fail, marketing expenses to get cut, you know, projects not to end up going well, is because you're not patient enough to give things an opportunity. So give yourself a shot. You have to give it more than 3 days, 30 days. It's a 6 month to 1 year commitment to really brand yourself online, and you have to take the time. Or pay me to do it, to help you with it. But
be patient either way.
be patient or pay. Yeah,
Pay Alex for better results.
yeah. You got to be patient with it. That's the big thing that I've learned and that I try to instill to all of my clients is you have to give it time.
Yeah, I think maybe this episode is all about time, right? It's time for healing. It's time for remembering. It's time.
Yeah, because you never know what's going to happen in life. You know, and you know, for that, I took off 2 months of life, so that meant 2 months worth of momentum that I completely lost on all levels of life. So it takes time to get back because you never know what's going to happen. So
it's wild how many people reach out to me. Do you know anybody who is a believer that also does video work? And I'm like, yes, Alex. Yes, Alex.
There's so many people that you just know, period.
Yeah. And so if you know me and you have any interest and you know the Beatitudes, Alex is not just a friend of the Beatitudes. He wants you to send him a lot of business so he can become a sponsor of the Beatitudes.
I would love that.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
That's like every show.
And one day our video editor.
Yeah, we also need help on that side.
Yeah, are you overwhelmed? That's my pitch. Are you overwhelmed with video editing? I was going to ask you about all your post-production.
No, we
anyway,
kind of.
so.
Well,
but you do such a good job.
Wait,
like I'm not gonna.
I love how you're. Are you overwhelmed with video editing? This is like a late night infomercial.
have you been losing sleep?
Pulling your hair out?
Yeah.
I can't edit.
Yeah, we actually have some grandiose plans, and I think you're going to be somehow a part of the You're already a Beatitude. You're level 2.2 right now.
Nice.
But there's...
What's the highest level?
I don't. He just
so far,
introduced.
so far you're the
2.2.
highest.
Okay,
I'm pretty
cool.
sure that's the highest we've ever said.
He just introduced
great.
this whole rating system like 3 episodes ago.
Sweet. Okay.
Yeah,
But you're feeling it?
It's a work in
nice.
progress.
I don't know what to do with it.
I am
yet.
feeling it, Jeff. I feel
Okay.
it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I just want to also say that whatever levels you grant here in the show will also be granted outside of the show.
Yep.
Great.
upon this table.
Oh my gosh.
Nope.
We shall grant levels.
Yes. Okay. So real quick, your beautiful children, including your most recent loss,
Yep.
Gabriel. His middle name is Joseph,
Gabriel
right?
Joseph. Yep.
Okay, well, I want everybody to join us in just praying for the soul of Gabriel Joseph. Also for just praying for men and women facing similar situations, struggling silently, a lot of that kind of silent suffering. We just ask you to find a friend, find a resource, find a spiritual mentor, whether that's clergy, religious, or layperson, whatever it is in your life. And we will actually get a chance every time we go to the Holy Sacrifice of the Mass to join with Gabriel Joseph in receiving the Eucharist. And for the rest of you, we'll also see you in the Eucharist. This has been the Beatitudes with Alex Trevino. God bless you all.
Thanks for tuning in. If you'd like to join us at our undersized table, subscribe to the video version of the show on YouTube by typing @ that's the symbol @ so shift and 2 on your keyboard, @the_Beatitudes on YouTube. We'll see you there.
This podcast is part of the Spoke Street Network. For more great podcasts, visit spokestreet.com.